Hello and welcome to the first episode of my walkthrough of this game called The Testament of Sherlock Holmes. I'm a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. I haven't read all the books, but I like the concept, the intrigue, the puzzles that he's got to figure out and everything. I really find that kind of fascinating. So hopefully this game lives up to that. And then I'll move on from this game to the next one, Crime and Punishment 2, to kind of see how that's going. But for now, we're going to play this game. So let's just jump right into it. New game. Yes. Ooh, a green eye. Frogwares. That seems a little loud. Sorry about that. Testament of Sherlock Holmes. Darn it, Watson! Hello, little kid.
Yeehaw! Oh.
That's a huge attic. That was creepy. Maybe she looked inside the hat first.
Ow! Ah! What's this? No! Ba ba boop boop. La la la.
Creepy doll. Hey, touch it, why not? Actually, I gotta look at the background.
Ooh.
This is hoe. Little girl, you should not be playing with a sword.
Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map.
Well, that's synchronization, though.
No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle. And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
Oh, damn, look at that. Pretty graphic.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
You are
A matter of course.
an
In
idiot.
the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Oh, okay, here we go. I control Sherlock Holmes. To look around, use the mouse. Walk in directions. Oh, that's kind of like robotic. Look at the broken book. Look at the broken showcase and click on it. Okay. Come over here.
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
Gauge you interact with after a clue to examine the icon will turn green. Please move. Sherlock Holmes near the left window. You should see 2 clue icons simultaneously. Okay, to the left window. Yes. To enter examination mode with multi-zone, press the left button. You can switch cursor. Hey.
A mark, undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
That's what I just said, Watson. Oh, what is that? That's a square wheel. I got some stuff up there. Matches, a knife. Okay, anyways. Oh, no, I gotta click on...
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Go to the chimney. Take it by clicking on it. You can open the inventory by clicking the right mouse button. I don't know why I'm reading this out loud. You guys can read it. There we go. Ooh. Ooh. Magnifying glass. Oops, what happened? I'm not controlling him. Oh. Or I can do that. Make him walk all over the place. Oh, interesting. Middle button. Oh, so the middle button just does that. Okay. From here, by right, left click, I can move around. Ooh, that's kind of really freaking me out, though, actually. All right. Oh, then here, I can walk over here. I can walk over here.
This window was cut.
See how
Scroll and scroll on your mouse, use the mouse on the scores. You know.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano. Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
What is that? That looks interesting. Wet marks, ink. Right. Okay. Looks like someone.
Nothing of interest here.
Oh, yes, it is. Whatever.
Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
Use or keyboard mouse button press to move your character. Keep pressing left shift from the character around, pressing R. Yeah, already. Hey, look at me run, guys! Woo! Look at me run! Okay. Ooh, by pressing space. Oh, I got a few clues. Okay. The water. All right. All right. Hey, what are my magnifying glass?
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
Hmm.
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier. These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
Watson, shut up! Whoa, whoa, we got a bunch of stuff here.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
Of course.
Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
Because, Watson, he was in a rush.
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
It is strange. What
The
does it...
fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
Hmm.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room. Strange, there aren't any prints, yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
Hmm.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
Of course I have.
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
There's always another way. Always.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
Be one of the men.
No, because he is very small. Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America.
Oh, dude, that was amazing.
The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure.
How does he
for which
know
had been
this?
trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle.
Okay.
Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
Of
A
course.
brilliant explanation. Bravo!
I got that at home, didn't you
And
guys?
the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the
And the
room
fish
from
tank.
top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson, a poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
Ta-da! Look at that graphic, though. That was great transition.
Marquis, here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Of
Good.
course.
I will return it to its box, and
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, well done, Mr. Holmes.
there, the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
Please don't tell me this is the way this entire game's gonna go, because it's gonna be really boring. Shots! 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 Everybody! That was horrible.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Read the paper, Holmes.
Oh, my bad. A fiasco? Huh. How do I go down? Oh. Jude displayed by the door to the room in which it displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room's service bell ringing out during the night. When the Marquis, the only person in position, we already had this. The most strange fact is that no thief was found within the room. Yeah. Following the departure of the who placed the necklace in the safe himself. Oops, hang on. Let's go back there. Mr. Holmes resolved the case in a twinkling. It was not a waste of my time. Various explanations as to the disappearance, because I would prefer to draw your own attention, dearie, to the last surprising developments of the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the Marquis noticed the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Bum bum bum. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoan necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls. Pearls which are found only in a small part of a lagoon of the... I'm not even going to try to say that one. Anyways, of the same name, and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystal of argonite, whatever, that they made of the priceless necklace brought here at the beginning of the century by Lord Fenton Arwick, the Marquis's grandfather, an eminent explorer, which should have been part of her daughter's dowry for her marriage to the Duke of Newcastle. So I'm going to place a simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for by a fake? By Mr. Holmes himself? What? Shut your mouth. I'm aware, dear readers, that the brutality of this question without any preconceptions may certainly shock some of you. Well, it obviously just did. But the facts are there, and our thoughts and judgments should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes' methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malign pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family and who, by lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider a tacit complicity on the part of the latter. For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of an altruistic defender of the law. I would draw the attention of our readers to the suggestion that the description of this gentleman provided by his friends Dr. John Watson through his stories is a long way from the truth. Indeed, his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive towards the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines. Replacing Inspector Lestrade, who is currently convalescent, and a habitual abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. This is why, dear readers, it is important to disregard Sherlock Holmes' good reputation in order to form an objective opinion and to ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes found already a fake? If that was the case, why did he not mention it? And why should he insist on placing it back within the safe himself? Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair, or is it a simple case of dissent in order to steal the extraordinary Samoan necklace? Whew, sorry, people. It is up to you, dear readers, to form your own opinions, but you can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of one who in the future shall not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the usurper. To be continued. Oh, Farley. Oh, let me know in the comments if you actually can read that, and I won't read it anymore. The ancestry of Prince Woodward recognized. The lower committee set up in order to verify Prince Woodville's legitimacy. Made its conclusions public last night. Without a surprise, the prince's title was confirmed, a rumor suggested in return of an unfavorable opinion by the committee. The prince would have abandoned any claim for the inheritance as well as any personal activity. How long is this? Okay, good, one page. The young man, now age 28, read history and law at Oxford with a diploma in philosophy. He spent most of his childhood in France, where he acquired a considerable knowledge of the culinary arts. For those who might think this a handicap when integrating into British high society, let me remind you that he is outstanding on the polo field and plays the bagpipes quite beautifully. Finally, we should add that lately he has become actively involved in charity work and aiding the poor. J.B. Good.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't I wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
Okay, I guess we go for slander now.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
He's got some crazy eyes. Did you see that? Look back over here. Look at this. Well, not right there, but
And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself.
crazy
Without
eyes.
the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage. Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector?
Be my guest.
Very well.
Very well. Let us. Where should we go? Oh, right there.
What do you think, Holmes?
No, not that. Find out the necklace. Okay, well, let's rotate it. Oh, yeah, look at those. Yes, yes.
These 3 pearls are of poor quality.
Very poor quality, yes.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here.
Nope, nope, definitely not. Definitely not. Let's see here. Let's go down here. Oh, what's this one?
This pearl is a different color. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible?
Yes, how is it
Holmes,
possible?
Do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
Ooh,
All
what do we
right,
have to do?
Holmes.
Now control Mr. I don't want to control Dr. Watson. Alright, come on.
The work table, where Holmes analyzes things.
Oops.
I have found your map.
Huh. What? I just had to click on it? Fast travel! Oi!
The police? Already? How did you know?
It's Neo from the
May we see
Matrix.
the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
With a hat on.
Yes.
It's Kung Lao
Yes,
Leo.
of course. But come in.
Kung Leo. Sorry. Okay, now it's Bishop Kung Leo.
What has happened, Reverend?
Kung Neo.
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God. How horrible.
Oh, what skinny
Have
shirt.
you called anyone? How did you know that?
I did do
Holmes,
that.
look!
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
By a monkey.
How dreadful.
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do
Evidently,
please
yes.
try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave, and not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend,
Bitch,
when the
that's Sherlock
inspectors of
Holmes.
Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Watch an anime
Out of the
cartoon
question.
right now.
I don't even know you. I'm going to
Sinking
call
of
the
the
police, whether you like it or not.
Lips and the
It
words
would
are
be better
amazing.
for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one. Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes, I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed, it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson.
would
Do
seem.
continue.
Oh, nice. Bishop didn't know anything. Yes, okay. Auto save. Good. And I'm saving. Okay. We're going to end this episode for now. Please click that subscribe button so you can get notified of when I upload new ones. I'm hoping to upload one every night. Leave your comments down below. Definitely hit the like button. And I'm not going to turn off comments, so leave whatever comment you want. I'll read them. Might reply, might not. Who knows? But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Definitely, like I said, hit the like button. And fare thee well, good people.